Extend to me a helping hand. I will praise you throughout the land, for your kind deeds so great and grand. Then you may know fortune and fame. I am in a pit of despair. Help me out of here if you care. To stay down here I cannot bear. Get me out, Nib-Nab is my name. To leave me here would not be fair. I fell into this pit of shame. I only have myself to blame. Dax did pull up the fallen one out into the light of the sun. His charitable deed was done. The man who had fell down had not died. It had not been a fatal fall. The man was not very tall. In fact, he really was quite small, too small to climb out, although he tried. For helping hands he had to call. He was humble, not full of pride. The hole was deep and wide. Thank you for helping me out. I was filled with dread and doubt. I am glad you heard me shout. I dug this hole in the glade to catch the monster that we fear. Perhaps it is already near. Perhaps it is already here. King Shub tells us to be afraid. His reasons, though, are quite unclear. We should expect a deadly raid. Plans against us have been made. King Shub claims that he does know of a cruel, invisible foe. The threat of danger now does grow. Away from it we cannot steer. Its color we cannot see. We cannot bite or even flee. I think it is pursuing me. It makes a sound we cannot hear, and moves unseen and silently. We live in perpetual fear, Nib-Nab said, shedding a tear. On a metal box Dax did sit. It has fallen into the pit. Before it escapes, bury it. Out of the hole it may soon creep. Nib-Nab then picked up a spade, and filled in the pit that he made. In the pleasant, peaceful glade, he filled in the depression deep. Nib-Nab was no longer afraid. The people need no longer weep. They can peacefully sleep. The worst threat to any nation, resulting in a confrontation, is a fearful imagination, Dax said, that causes us to fret. Tempered with intuitive insight, logic employed can shed some light, brightening thoughts as dark as night. False beliefs catch us in a net, and fill us with a foolish fright. Unquestioned convictions, I bet, are the unperceived but real threat. Through the dirt and sand he did sift. He found the box which he did lift. Nib-Nab gave Dax a thank-you gift. Behold the box of mystery. Are there smaller boxes inside? Will your wishes be found inside? Is it a place a ghost does hide, of someone lost to history? In it does the universe reside? You may be the first to see inside the box of mystery. Out of the box Nib-Nab did pull something strange, certainly not dull, a life-size crystal human skull. Dax gazed at the skull, and it did glow. I had a vision of my death, caused by a dragon's fiery breath. It seemed to be a painful death, and a sad story filled with woe. Dax dying from a dragon's breath was the future the skull did show, and dreadful for Dax to know. Behind a bush the king did hide. As he watched, his eyes opened wide. Walking over to them, Shub lied. Let me take that off of your hands. With the skull I will not neglect to keep an eye on each subject. No one here will dare to object. All must yield to my demands. With diligence I will protect the liberties of this land, this free land so great and grand.
Over the group a dragon flew. Dax, if you want something to do, I may just have a task for you. Over us a dragon does fly, over the hills and out of sight, soaring to the highest height. My army is afraid to fight, to be seared by fire from the sky. Defend us with all of your might, without ever asking me why, although you are bound to die. Drive it far away from this land, and you may place a wedding band upon my daughter's hand. You may marry her this fine day, and she will be your princess bride. Yes, she will be there at your side, filling you with much joy and pride. Believe everything that I say. From the fierce dragon do not hide. The dreadful dragon you must slay, or at least drive it far away. With his cloudy and confused mind, Dax left Nib-Nab and Shub behind. The dragon he was bound to find. To the river he made his way. Come out wherever you are, whether you are near or far, breathing fire bright as a star, hot and brighter than a sun ray. You are very strange and bizarre. You cannot stay. Now go away, or I will slay you today. Upstream from the waterfall, a maiden listened to his call. On the riverbank she stood tall. Gentle winds caressed her hair. She was a very lovely maid. Pausing, she looked back toward the glade. Then in the water she did wade near the dragon's secret lair. On the bank she should have stayed, but sadly she was unaware of the undercurrent there. She could not make it back to shore. Her wailing I could not ignore. Over the falls the water did pour. Down with the water she did fall. Waiting in so far was not wise. I could see in her sparkling eyes an innocent look of surprise. The pouring water formed a wall, hiding a cave of a large size. The dragon's lair was not small. From it the dragon heard Dax call. It flew from its cave, dark and hollow. The young maiden it did swallow. The voice of Dax it did follow. He found the dragon he did seek. Near to him the dragon did land. Down by the river Dax did stand, with the unicorn in his hand. He looked quite dazed, tired, and weak. How could he meet the king's demand? His situation looked quite bleak. He listened to the dragon speak. Death comes to all who trespass here. Your time of death is very near. You should now be filled with fear. You should now tremble with dread. You only have yourself to blame. Dragons do hurt and kill and maim. So fear me now. Zarf is my name. When you saw me, you should have fled. To waste your life is such a shame. When you have bled your blood red, when it is shed, you are dead. To find me is to find your death. Do you dislike my smoky breath? Does smoking lead to death? My vile smoke do you detest? Does my smoke pollute the breeze, causing you to cough and to wheeze? Tickling your nose so you do sneeze? Why bother me, you little pest? I will smoke as much as I please. Is this a jest, test, or a quest? Why do you disturb my rest? The king says that you cannot stay and suggests that you fly away. Kindly start your journey today. As if lighter than a feather, over the kingdom you did glide, devastating the countryside, leaving no safe place to hide or shelter from stormy weather. On the wayward wind you did ride. You scorched and burned the heather. We cannot live together. Zarf said, with grief I am distraught. In a web of deceit we are caught. I have not found here what I sought. I am sad enough to weep. There's a volcano far away, dormant now with ashes of gray, on an island where I did stay. In a crater warm and deep, my precious eggs I did lay. Its walls are unstable and steep. I worry and lose sleep. I wonder if they will survive. Perhaps none will climb out alive. I want my offspring to all thrive and to visit me here someday. Restless volcanoes are a threat. I want my eggs to be safe, and yet, leaving there I do not regret. Here I am. I am here to stay. and before the sun can cast, I will take your life away. So now come to me, my prey." Dax looked up at Zarf and did say, "Each predator is someone's prey, and you are my prey today." It looked like he was in trouble, for the dragon's fiery breath would most certainly cause his death. To die again, a double death, a death that would be double. The dragon's blazing breath was death, but the horn saved him from trouble. He made a force field bubble. Dax stood in a ring of fire, untouched by flames that burned higher than his loftiest desire. The fire died down and away. He held the horn, sharp as a thorn. A lightning bolt came out of the horn, taken from the last unicorn. It killed Zarf the dragon that day. It was a loss no one would mourn. Its scales and flesh melted away, but its skeleton did stay. The swallowed maiden was alive. Fortunately, she did survive. To release her, Dax did strive. She had survived the dragon's bite. Zarf had expressed all of its rage with its fiery, fierce rampage. Its huge ribs held her like a cage. The dragon's ribs were bare and white as a blank page. Her prison was the most strange sight. Dax did free her from her plight. She looked stunned, but then she did grin. "Hello, I am Princess Lynn. I am so glad that you did win. Thank you for saving me today from the dragon's burning hate. You saved me from a tragic fate. Death for us will just have to wait until another fateful day. The fickle finger of fate may point to a day far away. We are here for a longer stay."
Her soft, silky hair Lynn did toss. She stepped over stones dressed in moss. She approached the bridge and did cross. With the bones Dax did remain. Before long King Shub did arrive. Shub was surprised Dax was alive. Desiring his daughter to wive, Shub would lose and Dax would gain. For personal gain Shub did strive. To bend Shub's word would be a strain. To break his word would cause Dax pain. King Shub said, "You passed the test. At surviving, you are the best. You must be tired and should rest. It is a most impressive feat. It was a hero we did need. For your help the people did plead. Their cry for help you did heed. You survived the smoke and the heat. We will remember your brave deed. The dreadful dragon you did defeat. Your task is now complete." Dax said, "Keep your promise to me. Certainly you can plainly see I fought against what all did flee. I simply do not understand. Accepting the hero's call, I risk my life to save you all, bringing about the dragon's fall. Now your kingdom may stand. For justice it may stand tall. From the dragon I save the land. Give to me your daughter's hand." King Shub took a drink from his flask. "A rich reward for a slight task seems to me too much to ask, although you have gone through a trial. I would like to grant your request. After all, you passed the test. Promise breakers I do detest. Just patiently wait a while. I will certainly do my best to reward you and make you smile," said King Shub, so full of guile. Dax did withdraw, sad and confused, after being so ill-used, distraught at being so abused. After his mission, Dax did plead, for they had made a good deal. Shub did not listen to his appeal. Shub did lie and cheat and steal. To the garden Dax did proceed, to find a love true and real. Mirabel's love Dax did need, as a reward for his deed.